Hey gang, we are doing a squat depth tutorial video, I guess you'd call this. We're going to do a few tests with Kim and Evan and see if the way they're squatting currently matches with what seems maybe best for them anatomically. So let's start with Evan first, so just have him show us his normal air squat. It's like his toes a little forward. Go ahead and knock out a few. I got like 6. Toes a little forward. He's knocking the knees out over the little toe. I would describe this as a little narrow, right? It's a little outside his shoulder, but nothing too wide. Looks pretty good. He's below parallel. Looks fine. All right, let's see Kim try a few as well. So you can just normal air squat. She's a little more toe out, knees out, a little bit wider that way. They're still tracking over top of toes. That's good. But she's found that I guess legs out is a little bit easier for her. All right. So now we're going to take them both to the ground and see how this plays out on the ground as well. So we got Evan on the ground. Being on the ground means we can keep a neutral spine. We'll try and just test out where his squat was and see if that's the best range for him, or we'll try other areas as well. He was relatively narrow that first time. So I'm going to do a first test of a super narrow stance where I've got his toe over top his knee pretty much in line with the inside of his shoulder. I'm going to press straight back. He's getting pretty deep there, isn't he? Back's not curling to the ground. So keeping his back nice and flat. So no pinch, doesn't feel uncomfortable. All right, we'll try a little wider. Still pretty solid there. I'm feeling some tension here as I go even wider outside. That'd feel probably uncomfortable right there. A little stickiness. So in this range seems to be the best for him. Any wider and it gets a little sticky, you just kind of can feel it. So that tells me where he was squatting, which was, I would say, kind of a narrower leg, might be his best stance, and that, sure enough, is what he was doing already. So this is great. All right, now we got Kim. So she had a wider stance, as we saw. So this time, again, I got my foot over top the knee in line with the inside of the shoulder, and that's already feeling kind of sticky there. You feel that too? Yeah. So I'm going to try a bit wider where she was, and I'm getting a lot further now without it feeling sticky. So I gained, what, 2-3 inches there, right? And this is already where you squat anyway. So quick and easy test. We just affirmed what already we know is that she's squatting to what feels most comfortable for her, which is a bit wider. You can do the same test for yourself to find out what feels easiest. This felt bad for her, but it felt great for Evan. Out here it feels a lot cleaner, and I'm not feeling any sticking points. That was where she squats. So now on the ground, testing the same concepts. We moved them off the ground. So now they have to fight to maintain a neutral spine on their own. We got Kim up first. She's doing more of a narrow stance. And we saw already it wasn't a good fit for her. She's getting back pretty far, but I'm starting to see some curvature here, right, through the spine. So let's get her to a wider position with the knees. Flattens the back out, drops down. Looks like she's maintaining neutrality there a little bit better. So again, just confirming what we think we already know, that wider stance is better for her. What you might find as well is that she needs to kind of tuck her butt under, so go a little posterior tilt, kind of there, and then head back. You might try tucking the butt and see if that makes it easier for you. Now she did that, obviously, now she's really rounded, but she got a lot further that way. So she doesn't have any restrictions in that manner, so she needs to actually get more arch in her lower back. So untuck the butt, and now sit back. And that's pretty great. You can see all kinds of range there. She only gets to reverse it at the very bottom, so that was too far for her on her squat. Looking at Evan, similar situation. So he's going to sit back. He's a narrow stance guy, so he's got a flat back. He's going to rock his butt back, try to keep that neutral spine. You can see his butt begin to go a little bit there as he goes back too far. So come back up. Let's put your legs wider. We'll try a wider stance, and how uncomfortable does that feel then going there? All right.
It's stiff right here.
Yeah, it looks stiff as he gets a little bit deeper already. And I see his butt begin to tuck under earlier. So this wider stance, again, might not be a good position for him. We're trying to keep, both with Kim and Evan, a neutral spine as they sit back for as long as possible. And this would then kind of help you dictate what might be your best squat stance position. So one small variation you can try with this, just to make it more like a squat, so you can kind of push the weight more over kind of the middle, where your feet would be, for example. You're not sitting this far back in a squat, obviously. As you go down to your forearms, this would kind of mimic the the forward tilt you would have in a front squat or a back squat, and then perform that same test. So looking at Kim, again, looks pretty solid there. She's pretty narrow, begins to dump towards the end, right? So he went too far. If she went wider, where she is now naturally, maintain. If she gets further without having the butt dump out of the back, lose neutrality at the bottom there. So again, that's probably the best stance for her. Evan, similar situation. He's now down to his forearms. He can go even lower if he wanted to as well. Just again, maintain the idea of a leaned over chest while he's squatting. And now he'd rock back. If he begins to feel the butt pull under, like about there, starting to lose it, that would be, but he's already below parallel there, that's fine. And if he tried, he's in a wide position right now. If he tried a narrow position where he squats normally, then it might feel easier for him. And there, he's fine there. Butt's not moving, spine's fine. And it feels comfortable for him. So that's the main test. So that's it, weird test, but you would start with your back on the ground and then progress to hands and knees, and then you can progress again to forearms from that. That's your test to find out what's a better stance squat, or squat. Shit. That's the test to find out what's a better squat stance for you.